Looping ghosts and Phasmophobia is something that's been in the game since the very beginning over 3 years ago, and it's a very useful tool to know, but a very difficult tool to master. In this video, we're going to go over methods of looping, safe ways to practice looping, and why you would want to do it in the first place. Let's get into it. The easiest map to master looping is by far going to be 6 Tanglewood Drive, the OG starter house to Phasmophobia. Whenever you're going to be looping a ghost, I highly recommend bringing a smudge stick with you. It does not matter what tier smudge stick you use, it's personal preference, but I would recommend at least bringing one. If you'd like to bring a second one just in case that you get in a tough spot, more than willing to do that as well. Now, when it comes to Tanglewood, there's going to be 2 looping spots that are going to be very viable. The best looping spot in the entire game is by far going to be the vehicle. Any car in any map that allows you to go around it completely is one of the best areas to loop a ghost, because if you're completely standing up on the car, more than likely the ghost won't even be able to see you in line of sight. You don't even need to crouch in order to prevent line of sight speed from happening with vehicles. You can loop around it and the ghost will pretty much never know you're there, except when you reach the front, where the nose of the car, the head of the front of the car is lowered down. Here we go. The ghost hunt is beginning and I'm going around the car. I have an opportunity to see the ghost pretty well. Unfortunately, it is a child, so I can't see it as well as I could for other ghost models. But as you can see, just from standing up, I already lost the ghost. It already went into a different direction. By using an electronic like my radio, I can pull it back into here, continue to loop it again, and can continue to observe it during the extent of the hunt. As you're able to see, in order to loop it around that vehicle, it took minimal effort. I barely had to sprint, and it was very, very simple. That is the entryway to understanding looping, in my opinion, is to do it with the vehicle. Once you have graduated from the vehicle and you have that mastered, you can go over to the kitchen island, this countertop in the middle here that allows you to go around and around. This is where different types of looping come in. There is crouch looping, where when you crouch down below this countertop, the ghost will not be able to get line of sight speed on you. Or there's standing looping. Oh my goodness! Standing looping is where the ghost is going to have line of speed on you almost the entire time. It'll progressively get faster as the hunt goes on. If you crouch, the ghost may even go in a different direction. It will not be able to gain line of sight speed on you. As you're able to see from that hunt, a lot of what has to do with looping, especially when you have a ghost that's crawling like that, which makes it infinitely more harder, is listening to the ghost's footsteps, which direction it's coming from, and which way it's going to loop around. When the ghost is a standing ghost, significantly easier. You can see it almost the entire time. I started a new game so we can get a different ghost model to be able to show it better. But one of my biggest tips when it comes to looping around something like this is to make sure you cut your corners hard. Do not have wide turns to your corners like this. Make sure you hug it as tightly as possible, because you're going to notice when I loop this ghost that the ghost AI does not have an opportunity to cut the corners that closely. It's going to go ahead and overshoot it because it's so fast, and it's going to eventually hit into a wall. So for instance, when it gets to here, it's going to collide into this countertop before it turns and comes back around. Here we go. This time we got a standing ghost. Do not overuse your sprint. Save it for when you absolutely need it. Turn those corners as tightly as you possibly can. If it loops back on you, make sure you quickly turn around, and there you have it. So as you're able to see, when the ghost got really fast, it was actually colliding into different walls and things as it was turning around this object. That is the big benefit. That's the big difference, is you as a player don't have to do that, but the ghost's AI encoding does. You have an opportunity to outmaneuver it, even though it's significantly faster than you are. Now that you've seen crouching looping, standing looping, and different things you can loop around, you're probably wondering, why would I even want to do this? There's a couple different reasons. One is the ghost has started hunting and you can't make it to a hiding spot, and you need to maneuver it a little bit so you can try to run for a hiding spot. That's priority number one, is staying alive, obviously. Another reason is to observe the ghost's behaviors and movements during a hunt. This is very beneficial if you're doing a nightmare, insanity, or no evidence run, where you're not going to get that last pieces of evidence, and you need to be able to determine what the ghost is based on how it's moving. Also, being able to loop the ghost is going to help you get those secondary objectives as well. Capturing a photo, repelling, escaping. Maybe even parabolic microphone if you're feeling very spicy and getting it during a hunt. So there's a lot of benefits to looping when you have the opportunity to do so. And you can always fall back on a smudge stick if you're in a dangerous spot and you just didn't move the proper way. To further advance this video, I'm going to be starting a series on the channel that allows you to see some of the best looping spots in every single map in Phasmophobia. So make sure you like this video and follow for more, because more content is coming for Phasmophobia. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. Stay crispy, my friends.